Hi everyone, it's Dr. Peasington here bringing you my first impressions of the new Dragon's Teeth DLC for Battlefield 4. Dragon's Teeth has 4 new maps designed with urban combat in mind, 5 new weapons, the Deagle, Unica 6, the CS5 sniper rifle, the MPX submachine gun and the Bulldog, and 2 new gadgets, the Ballistic Shield and the Roar, which is available as a battle pickup, as well as a brand new game mode called Chainlink. I haven't unlocked all the weapons yet on Dragon's Teeth, but I have used them all in the CTE servers, and I think that they're generally some good additions, and I'm especially loving the Bulldog. But you do get the idea that the Unica is only really there to make it take a little longer to get the Deagle, and then the Deagle itself is overpowered, and I'm sure that will get a bit of a nerf sometime soon. The Ballistic Shield's also a little pointless in my opinion, and the Roar, the little Wally looking thing, could really do with having a bit more armour, as you do seem to die very quickly when you get it. There are, of course, 4 new maps for Dragon's Teeth: Lumpini Gardens, Pearl Market, Propaganda and Sunken Dragon. The first thing to say about the new maps is that they look stunning, and you can see that a lot of work has gone into the details of the maps. In Sunken Dragon you have a floating restaurant in the middle of the map with a couple of bridges, some high-rise buildings and a parking structure surrounding it. The Levolution event in this map is triggered by activating a switch in the control tower by the bridge to the north of the map, and this triggers the floodgates which drain the water from the harbour, causing the restaurant to lie on the seabed broken. The floodgates can be activated every minute or so, which creates some interesting gameplay in the restaurant as it continuously fills up and empties of water. I really enjoyed this map and had some intense battles both in the restaurant and the parking structure, and for me, this map did seem to have the best balance, although you really do have to watch out when going between points, especially from one side of the bridge or water to the other, as there is an LAV and a little bird for each team, as well as some very good sniping positions. Pearl Market has you fighting in narrow streets and on rooftops in what is the smallest map in the DLC, although it's definitely the busiest. There are no real Levolution events on this map, but there is a lot of destruction with a lot of falling rubble to watch out for. And there are also shutters which can be open and closed, but that seems to be about it. This is quite an interesting map with its narrow streets and the ability to go from rooftop to rooftop fairly easily, and you really have to be aware of the verticality of the map. I thought it'd be overwhelmed with snipers with the map layout, but it did seem that because there are so many different routes to the rooftops, this wasn't really the case. I really enjoyed the intense battles and flanking potential in this map, although it can become a little overwhelming on 64-player servers. Lumpini Gardens has an elevated railway going through a park surrounded by streams. There are 2 Levolution events in this map. One involves activating 2 switches at the small storerooms marked A and B to the south of the map, which then causes the water tower to overflow and tip, creating a mudslide which takes out everything in its way and changes the terrain and layout south of the railway line. There's also a second event that you can trigger by exploding 2 IEDs at either end of the elevated railway, which causes part of it to explode and come down. Lumpini Gardens is one of the most visually pleasing maps in the DLC, and the Levolution event has the most effect to the map, but I found that there are simply way too many places to snipe from, especially with the elevated railway, and I often found it very difficult moving from one part of the map to another unless I was with a fair number of teammates. Propaganda is based on Pyongyang in North Korea and doesn't have any real Levolution events, although there is a train which runs through the map which will insta-kill anything in its way, and all the buildings do have a large amount of destruction. Propaganda is the only map in Dragon's Teeth to feature battle tanks, and the map is set up well for it and they don't feel too intrusive to the infantry based gameplay. There are some nice flanking routes in the map, although out on the road or along the railway line you're left very exposed. Now there's also a new game mode for Dragon's Teeth called Chainlink, in which you have to take points through the map in a line to create links between the capture points. The more points you have linked together, the quicker the opposition's team tickets bleed. I found this a lot of fun as I've always been a fan of infantry based gameplay, and in Chainlink you really have to constantly be aware of your surroundings, as the flags line up pretty much through the centre of the maps, which leaves a lot of opportunity to flank around the enemy, creating some interesting games where there'll be some intense firefights between the points and some great flanking moments where you get behind the enemy and get some serious back raging on. Of course, there are some issues with Chainlink, one of the main problems being how quickly 1,000 tickets can be gone through, and another being the 10-minute time limit, but if you play on a higher ticket server, then this game mode can be a real lot of fun. 64 players may be a little on the high side for Chainlink, so you might want to play a 32 or 48 player server to avoid it becoming utter mayhem. All in all, I'm really enjoying the Dragon's Teeth DLC and the new game mode Chainlink. These maps definitely have a more polished feel to them than some of the previous DLCs, and with the improvements continuing to come in from the CTE servers, Battlefield 4 is finally becoming a really enjoyable game to play. Anyway, that's enough from me for now. Let me know in the comments below what you think of the Dragon's Teeth DLC. Don't forget to subscribe. Take it easy, and I'll see you the next time.